What's up, YouTube? It's your boy P, and today we're back at Path of Exile 2 for patch 0.2.0 Dawn of the Hunt. In this video, I'm going to go over my league start plans for the new Witch Ascendancy Lich. I plan on starting with a fairly generic Minion setup, and then we're going to swap over to a pure Spectre setup in the endgame. Now, for everybody else just coming back to the game, we did have a massive shakeup in the meta last night. We had a 50-page document of almost only nerfs. Now, to put things in perspective, what you're seeing on screen right here is all the nerfs only applying to Spark Stormweaver, which was the league starter we did last league. As you can see, it got hit so many different ways. I don't feel comfortable refreshing that league start guide. Maybe we'll put a pin on that and look at that later. But realistically, almost every single build that used to be good got decimated, and that does include minions. However, I do think the Lich Ascendancy offers enough positives that this is still a very exciting thing to look forward to in the upcoming patch. Now, even though we had that 50-page patch notes, it still wasn't complete. We still don't know hundreds of new supports. We don't know the damage number tweaks on skill gems, which is going to mean that I can't put out a league start guide that's quite up to the standard that you may expect from this channel. And realistically, nobody can, because we're missing so much information. So how I plan to overcome this is, well, first of all, we're going to have daily updates for the Lich build on YouTube. So you're going to be able to get like a 10-minute bite-sized changelog of whatever, ends up being more optimal than our plans set up on YouTube. And if you don't want to wait for that, I'm also going to be heavily relying on this Mobalytics landing page, just Lich Minions League Start Guide for myself. You'll find this in the video description. I've already written up my plans for the League Start in pretty good detail. Obviously, this is already a tested progression in terms of skills. However, these will likely change to some degree on Friday because there's just so many changes to skills as well as new supports. So we will be updating this on the fly. This is going to be the main thing that you guys would want to use if you want to follow me along. We're going a lot more text-based than usual. It's just how things ended up. Just because there's so much uncertainty, I think it's a lot easier for me to convey a build where I can edit it rather than just locking it in a YouTube video. All right, so yeah, you can read through this. There is a passive tree. And honestly, the passive tree has a description of how you should follow it as well. Everything is very well explained. Let's touch on why I'm excited to play Spectres in this upcoming league. So the last time I made a Spectre build was way back in 2019 during the Blight Challenge League. And I would consider this the golden age of Spectres. After this patch, they got nerfed over and over again. Spectres are really fun because you essentially just summon any enemy in the game and they become your minion and you can support them with support gems. I don't actually have footage of my old Spectre build, but it was using the same Spectres that K Gaming is using here. They were called Solar Guards, and as you can see, these are little spellcaster minions that shoot out some projectiles, and it's pretty chill playstyle. You still sort of have the caster feel because you're shooting all of these spells. However, you don't have to press the button yourself, so you can run around and just pick up all the loot. So I'm pretty excited to go back to that sort of playstyle. Now, I do expect there to be quite a few pretty powerful monsters that we can use as Spectres. However, GGG will probably nerf the egregious ones, and that's honestly fine because with this sort of generic minion passive tree, you don't really need to change anything when you switch your Spectres around. Realistically, you could choose a spell-based Spectre or an attack-based Spectre, and you just have a bunch of those Spectres. And then you could tailor your scepter around that. So you could either scale attack speed if it's a attack or cast speed if it is a spell. And other than that, if your Spectre gets nerfed, which, likely will happen, we will just make a new video going over a different Spectre and you won't have to change your gear. you will just have to change the support gems on the Spectre, which is fine. That's quite easy. It's very hot swappable, and that will also keep things interesting, because if you do get bored of the spells your minion's casting, honestly, we'll just swap it with something else. Now, we may want to look specifically for a Chaos Damage Spectre, because we do have this node right here called Right Hand of Darkness, which gives us the ability to inflict Wither on hit. That is a huge buff to Chaos Damage. We're going to take that no matter what, because Necromantic Conduit gives us a lot of damage as extra chaos. But if you want to fully leverage that, we would pick a minion that also does chaos damage, so we're doing pure chaos damage. Although right now, without testing these specters, it's impossible to know like what would actually be ideal. So the League Start Guide actually doesn't really contain much specter info. That is something you're going to have to look out for in, well, we'll just update that in, as well as obviously you're going to find out what specters end up being powerful on YouTube. As for resources that'll help you guys out on League Start, there are a few things I want to recommend. Now, first off, if we go to my VODs channel, you will be able to see some practice runs. We are doing Spark in this run. I have this app here called Layloken, and this is super handy for a League Start. It will automatically progress between zones, telling you exactly what you have to do in that zone all the way through the campaign. And you can get that on GitHub right here. I'll put a link for this in the video description. Super handy. This also has some other extra features, like you can set up a way for when you click on a vendor, it will automatically put the regex in there, so you don't even need to copy paste this regex here. For example, like as you're reading through the guide, you're going to see when we paste this into a vendor search bar, it's going to highlight all the strong leveling items that we could possibly buy from that vendor. And we can automate that through Layloken. If you drop by the stream on Friday, you're going to see me using this. It is a little confusing to set this up, but I do believe there are YouTube tutorials out there. Highly recommend this for honestly anybody. And if you don't catch the streams, but you would like to see what's going on, obviously just follow the Anime Princess VODs channel, and I will be re-uploading the streams on here so you can see how the build's progressing. Also, right now for my filter blade, I don't have a minion filter. I'm going to be making one before League Start tomorrow. We'll boot up the stream a couple hours before. Honestly, this is already very well tailored for a League Start, so I'll just need to edit this filter to focus on a couple of minion items instead, and that should only take like 15-20 minutes. So once the League Start happens, you will be able to download this. I'll have a link in the video description, but you just go to my account and then you click item filters. You see my endgame one has 3,000 followers, but you're not going to want that. There's going to be a new one tomorrow called AP Minion leveling filter, and you'll be able to grab that. It's going to highlight the appropriate things that we want to pick up off the ground going through the campaign. And then you guys can swap over to this once we do hit endgame, because it's going to be a loose filter. It's going to show a lot of stuff. Yeah, those are my two biggest tips right there. Now, if you are playing this build, I am making a subforum on Discord where you can share your progress. If you need any help, you can ask some questions in there. I'll see if I can help you out. This is primarily a Spark Discord because I normally play Spark, but we are going to have a minion-based subforum for this league because I'm quite excited for the Spectres. All right, well, I guess this was a pretty short video, but realistically, all the info is right on the Mobalytics page. I don't feel the need to read over all of this when I've already taken the time to write it out. Hope to see you guys live on Twitch on Friday for the league start. Yeah, take care. Peace.